Building muscle comes down to four specific factors. Number one, stimulus, aka training. Two, fuel. Are you getting enough food to truly build lean muscle? Three, recovery. That ties in food, but most importantly, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And then number four, consistency. You see, there's a tendency to think, hey man, I'm not building muscle fast enough. Hey, I haven't built any size. This is taking far too long. No matter what I can do, I can't seem to build muscle. If you've ever caught yourself saying any of those components, there's a pretty good chance that it's just one of these simple four factors that you're not doing correctly, you've had the wrong information, or you just have not been doing them long enough. So let me provide a little bit clearer picture for what you need to be focusing on and then what you can really expect in terms of long-term progress. So when it comes to training, you can build muscle training 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or 5 days a week. Really, that is not as important as you would think, right? The more important thing with your training is that you're getting progressive overload, meaning you're getting stronger, not even week to week, even every other week, and really tracking your workouts and making sure that you're providing a little bit more stimulus for your body to grow. Number two, that you're training with whatever training program you decided, a 3-day a week, 4-day a week, 5-day a week program, you're doing it consistently and completing it. And then number three, giving yourself ample time to truly grow, which is going to tie into the consistency component. But really what you got to make sure that you're doing is doing programs to completion and getting stronger over time. So that leads to number two, fuel. All right, so tell me if this sounds familiar. You start to build lean muscle, you try to build lean muscle, you're eating more, it feels like it's sure to eat as much as you are, but then you start to look in the mirror and maybe your abs are blurry, or start to see a little bit more of a roll over your stomach, and all of a sudden, feels like you're adding body fat, you're not adding lean muscle. It gets frustrating, and then you kind of take a step back and you decide, hey, you know what? I heard it's going to improve my insulin sensitivity if I get leaner, so let's cut down a little bit. But don't make that mistake. You see, one of the biggest problems that most folks tend to make when it comes to building lean muscle is that they start to add in all these mini cuts throughout the process, and they do not stay in a caloric surplus every single day for weeks and sometimes months on end. When you're a hard gainer, when you're somebody who struggles to build lean muscle, it's going to take a lot of food, it's going to take a lot of work consistently. Not doing it 4 days a week and then slacking off for a couple days. It's not going to be 4 weeks of building muscle, then adding another week directly in. You should really aim to get your body weight in pounds times 20, that many calories, and at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you do have. And stick with this consistently. You might have to say goodbye to your abs for a little bit. You might have to take that step back. But the alternative is to stay stuck in that vicious cycle of adding some lean body mass, but then losing it all because you want to cut. Right? At the end of the day, it's going to take a long-term focused approach if you want to build significant amounts of muscle. Number three, recovery. Now I get it, you're busy, you've got a lot of things going on, you might have school, you might have work, your family, career, starting something on the side, trying to train, and a shit ton of Netflix to watch. But guess what? At the end of the day, every single physiological process in your body is impaired if you're not getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So you might wear it like a badge of honor, like I used to, of hustling and grinding and trying to get everything done throughout the day. But trust me, if you were not getting that sleep, everything is going to be impaired, from testosterone, growth hormone, insulin sensitivity, your dietary control, your ability to perform in the gym. All of that stuff is taking a nosedive when you are not maximizing your ability to recover through sleep. So make sure that sleep is a priority. Try to wake and rise at consistent times. Get away from screens at least 30 minutes before bed, and really make sleep a big focus in what you're doing. I'll tell you, more often than not, that is a missing component for many people when it comes to building lean muscle and looking their best. And finally, you need time. Time and consistency doing all these factors together. You see, when it comes to building muscle, you need to approach things by looking at the calendar, not by looking at your watch, not by looking at what's coming up in this next week. Building muscle takes months at a time, not mini cuts and bulks nonstop that, kind of have you always looking in the mirror over your shoulder thinking that maybe you should cut, maybe you should bulk. What you should do is focus on a good 3 to 6 month block where you're going to eat at that caloric surplus and really own the fact that you're trying to build muscle, understanding that fat gain is going to be part of it. You see, it takes a lot longer to build muscle than it will to lose the fat later on. Some really important research, and I've got this right over to my left, comes from Lyle McDonald, looking at some of the recent muscle models and how much muscle you can truly expect to be able to build. And this says, with 1 year of proper training, maybe 2 pounds a month. And that sounds like not a lot if you're looking at the scale, eating so much food that you can hardly move afterward and wondering where the muscle's going. But 2 pounds per month translates into 20 to 25 pounds of muscle in a year. That's going to change your life. And that's what you'd expect the first year if you're new to training and have not done this stuff before. And it gradually decreases, maybe 10 to 12 the next year. So that's 1 pound a month, and then 5 to 6, so half a pound a month. And then after that, very small amounts of lean muscle can expect to be built without drugs. So really, with all this stuff, what you should really come back to is focus on these basic 4 factors and help eliminate all the noise that's out there so you can just focus on executing. Number 1, stimulus, aka your training. Find something you can do consistently, get progressively stronger, and finish programs. Number 2, your fuel. You're gonna have to eat. Body weight in pounds times 20, that's a great starting point. And then your protein should be at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. Carbs or fats, I don't care what variation you're gonna have between those, but make sure that you're getting those calories and the protein. Everything else is up for your personal preference. Number 3, making sure you are getting sleep. Hey, I used to wear sleep or skipping out on sleep and drinking too much coffee. I've even got caffeine on my shirt as a badge of honor, but every single physiological process, both mentally and physically, is going to be impaired if you are not getting enough sleep. So stop looking at testosterone boosters and all this shit. Make sure you're getting your sleep dial in first. And then the 4th component, the most important one of all, is understand that you're gonna have to look at the calendar and block off large amounts of time where your sole focus is going to be on building lean muscle. If you stay stuck in this bulk and cut, mini cut, all this type of stuff that you're going back and forth with, you're not gonna make the progress that you want. So at the end of the day, truly, you need to commit to the process. Understand that, yeah, you might gain a little bit of body fat, but it's gonna come off. But trust me, if you stick with the process, if you own it, if you train hard, get progressively stronger, make sure you're in that caloric surplus, sleep, and stay with tunnel vision and commit to the goal, you're gonna radically transform your body, all right? So again, building muscle, it's not that complicated. It's simple, but it's not easy. You just have to commit, and if you need help along the way, drop me a message. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Or if you want something a little bit more specific, just head over to BachPerformance.com and join the Bach Performance Physique Coaching Program, and we'll simplify everything for you. So all you need to do is execute the proven plan. All right, have a great day. If you have any questions, drop them below. I'm more than happy to help.